Hey everyone, I'm unboxing another product today. This is the RUIPRO Detachable Full Fibre Optic DisplayPort cable. And you might be having a case of deja vu, thinking I've done this before, but previously I've unboxed the HDMI variant, but this is the one with DisplayPort, and many devices nowadays move into DisplayPort, so it's kind of cool that RUIPRO have brought out support for that. And I'll talk about what makes this special in a minute, but the key things are it's fibre, it's thin, it's flexible, it's got zero electromagnetic interference, and no signal loss either. And that also means because it's a detachable end, it's all future-proofed. So I'll talk about that more, but firstly let's unbox it and then I can go through the specifics in just a minute. So with that off, we can now see things a bit easier. So this is DisplayPort, and as a result it supports, 8K at 60 Hz, or if you wanted 4K, it supports 144 Hz, really high bandwidth, and as I mentioned, because you could change the end, everything is future-proofed. You run a fibre cable, down your wall into your TV or your media station, and if, a new version of DisplayPort comes out in the future, you could, in theory, just buy that end from RUIPRO, move it over, and then suddenly you've got like DisplayPort 3.0 support for your 12K TV. That's the idea behind this anyway, but let's actually unbox it and everything else. So now we can open up. There we are. So I'll just put that to one side. So we've got these Q-tips for cleaning. I'll talk about that in a minute. And you've got the user manual, and it talks about the lifetime warranty as well. So yeah, that's the user manual, and it just talks about everything you need to know. And usually I don't look at user manuals, but when it comes to like fiber, and considering you've got Q-tips, sometimes it's good to know what to do so you don't make a mistake and, break something very delicate. So yeah, you've got this, and then it just talks about the right way of actually running things. So keep the stickers on while you're running this particular cable, through your walls and things like that, because you don't want to get dust in the delicate fiber ends. Then you've got the rest of it. So connect the cable, you've got the source end to your computer, display end to your monitor. And one thing I needed with the HDMI cable was often you needed to actually power the HDMI cable on one of the ends. So you actually got like an extra bit of USB, and that's because of the way HDMI works, but DisplayPort is a slightly better standard and it doesn't often need that. We'll look at that in a minute. But that's what this bit of the manual is saying, is basically the actual end going into like your TV or your monitor. It doesn't usually need USB power, but if it does, you have that option. And then it's just giving notes after the installs. So that is the manual, and you can scan that to see the lifetime warranty. And then you've got Q-tips to actually clean the fiber cables if something goes wrong. Now we can actually look at the cables. So this is the actual cable, it's fiber, so obviously it brings all the benefits I spoke about. It's immune from signal loss and everything else, which is brilliant compared to like HDMI or DisplayPort, which could lose signal with longer runs. And you can actually get this particular cable in loads of different lengths, as you can see on the screen now. And then you've also got this bag of actual connectors. So you've literally got a USB power, which again, we spoke about when we were looking at the manual. And then you've got the actual ends. And this again is the key thing, because like when I unboxed the HDMI version of this, you can actually run the fiber cable, and then you can click this DisplayPort end onto it, and then you've got DisplayPort from your computer to your monitor, or your TV to your media station or something like that. So yeah, you've got that just saying do not remove the sticker before installation, and that is very important because fiber is very sensitive and stuff. I mean, it's brilliant, and it's actually more durable than many people think, but if you've got really sharp bends, and then you actually again loads of dust in this because you've took off the sticker and you're running things through a wall, then things could potentially go wrong. But if we actually look at the end, I'm just going to remove that. So you pull down the little blue tab there, and then you can remove the end there. And the way that would actually work, and I'll put the manual there just so we can see it too, but essentially when you're actually trying to connect things up, as I mentioned, the actual way that you do that is really important. So yeah, you would slide this bit off, and I've took the warning stickers off. The key thing is you've actually got this little clip that comes up here, and it's mentioned on the manual as well. You need to make sure that's going into the right bit here. So actually there you can see there's a little end there. So if I was to put it that way, that's not going to work because that's wrong. You've got to make sure the raised bit there goes into the raised bit there. So you click that in place very gently. Well, not too gently, I guess, but there we are. You hear it click, and that is now ready to go. So, you finished your install, and I'll show a demo of this in a minute, but basically you finished your install, and then that's your DisplayPort cable. In this particular case, this is the source, meaning in this case it would go to the computer, and then the other end is actually marked as the displays that go into, your monitor or your TV or your LCD wall or something like that, but that is the two ends. So in terms of the fiber cable, the actual ends here are agnostic. It's not like you've got a source end and a display end, they are agnostic, but the actual connectors, when you come to them, you need to make sure, the source goes to your actual computer source or, your media PC source, and then the other end goes correctly. But that is the RUIPRO 8K detachable fiber cable. Next, I wanted to do a demo of it just so you can actually see it working. Okay, so I've plugged in the source end into my actual computer. Now, one very important note here is my mini ITX case is a complete pain and you've got to plug everything in from the bottom. And in this particular case, actually, I couldn't fit, this end here and the DisplayPort cable with my computer upright, which is why it's currently on its side, as you can see here. So make sure you've got 4 or 5 inches of free space before you actually can bend the cable and things like that. That is worth knowing. And next I can actually put my computer on, even though it's on its side, which looks a bit weird. And what should happen at some point is I should actually start seeing output on both of this.
A few moments later.
Okay, so everything's powered up and right now I'm not actually seeing output come up on the display. So what I'm going to try and do next is actually use this USB cable. Okay, let's have a look. Yes, hang on. There we are, that was it. So I needed USB power. So yeah, the manual does mention you don't always need this, but in my particular case, I did for whatever reason. So that wraps up this video. This is the RUIPRO 8K detachable full fiber optic DisplayPort cable, which is a bit of a mouthful, but it is a completely brilliant product. And you can see all the specs there. So as I mentioned before, it supports the latest DisplayPort 1.4, but then it's got future proofing for DisplayPort 2.1. And you've got 4K at 144 Hz if your display actually supports that, or you can go up to 8K at 60 Hz as well. So really, really nice idea. If you've got any questions whatsoever, please leave them in the comments. I'm going to put some links in the description if you wanted to check out this product more. And if you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up button and please subscribe to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching.